Hello, my friends. How are you? Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Jason. This is the Outstanding Life Show. I was about to go live, I want to say about an hour ago. And here, I want to show you something here. And I went live. Where'd my phone go? I went live on my phone and I did a Insta Live. You know when you can go live on Instagram? And then I did an Instagram Live, and then I was like, while I'm doing that, I'm going to update Windows. Because, you should always get the updates. But I logged in. After loading Windows, the new one, I ended up losing all of my presets for this live show. And so my plan was, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go live on my phone and Instagram. Tell everybody, I'm going to go live. Come check it out on Facebook. And then when I go do that, I go to log in and I've lost everything. And I thought, that's hilarious. You tell everyone you're going to be there and then you don't show up on time because Windows and the update. Anyway, so for the past hour, I've put together a show in less than an hour, which, holy cow. So what I wanted to do is to give you guys an update, let you know what I'm doing, how I'm working out with some of these cool ideas. I've got I made a scratch list here of things I want to talk to you about. If you're over on Instagram, that's amazing. Then you already got a high level about what we're chatting about today. There's three main things I want to talk about. So the first I want to chat about is, I'll give you an itinerary here. This will be a pretty short update, but I wanted to give you a little bit more detail because I can do longer videos here on Facebook and YouTube, but over on Instagram, that'll just be a short recap. So we're going to chat about what we're working on right now and what I've been working on these past few months. So we'll have a show update, which will be the kind of what I've been working on so far. We're also going to have a personal update, so what's been going on in my life. And then we're also going to talk about future updates, or I guess planned updates. Because over on paper, I have this idea about what I want to do and where I want things to go. But I wanted to go because I've been working on this stuff for so long now. I think I did a whole month in January where I ended up going live every day in January. And that was nuts. That was intense. That was a lot of work. There was a lot of manual back and forth I had to go and pull out. And it got to the point where towards the end of January, I ended up getting to the point where I was just pumping out content for sake of pumping it out. And my fear was that the quality of the content would drop or it wouldn't be as valuable. So what I wanted to do was to take a step back, relook at my processes, relook at how I'm showing up, the content I'm delivering, and then the method of delivery. So I looked at those three things and I made sure that going forward, each of those touch points would, one, they would offer value. If it didn't offer value, I wasn't going to do it. And then two, I also wanted to make sure it was in line with the messaging. It was in line with where I was going. And if it didn't hit those 2 points, then I needed to scratch that idea. I needed to scratch what I was working on. Because I was adding extra layers of complexity to the show where it would end up taking away more time and it wasn't offering as much value. So that didn't work. It didn't resonate with me. And so while January was a pretty busy month, I look back and I even to this day, I'm still getting messages about, on Facebook and YouTube, people send me messages on Instagram. It's actually pretty cool. People are still messaging me based on what they saw back in January, which I was like, that's amazing. Holy crap. I didn't know there were people still watching those shows. Anyway, so I had done season 1, I had done season 2, and now we're kicking off season 3. And this season 3 is going to be a full revamp. Everything from the websites being redone to not just the processes, but I've also introduced, I've removed layers of complexity. So I've removed the barriers of challenge. And again, if it didn't make sense, if it didn't fall in line with the messaging, I didn't do it. So here's where we are today. I've got a streamlined workflow. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in just a minute. But from a show update, what I want to do going forward was to still have the regular content, so the regular weekly live shows. That's still going to be a staple that's going to be there. I'm also going to introduce, I've been testing some pre-recorded content as well. So we'll have short form pre-recorded content, but we're still going to have the weekly update for the Outstanding Live show. And when it comes to the show, what I wanted to work on was fewer applications. So what I mean by fewer applications is I didn't want to do things just for sake of doing. I didn't want to do fun things, although it was really interesting, really cool, really challenging. I didn't want to just add an extra layer on top of it for sake of adding an extra layer. So what I've introduced is fewer applications with more value from those applications. So it couldn't just do the remaining applications that I'm using, the remaining apps, the remaining computer software, as an example. Unless it did more than one thing, I didn't want to just keep it around for sake of just one benefit. I needed to have more than one benefit. So by having fewer complexity, I can offer more value. And so that saves me time, and that allows me to then curate more content. Okay, now from a personal update, so that was the show update. If I jump into the personal update, I've got a nice work-life balance, and although it's a nice life-work balance, I needed to make it an extra, kick it up a notch. So from a personal life standpoint, there's always things going on, but I've been fortunate enough to have a handful of chance updates where things are better than I had anticipated they were, but there's always room for opportunity. There's always room for growth, personal growth, and I've taken some responsibility, and I've stepped back from a handful of responsibilities, but I've also challenged myself to grow in other ways. So what I mean by that is I've stepped away from certain roles, but in other ways, I'm going to be helping in more than one way. I won't be able to tell too much about that just quite yet, but when I get closer to it, I'll be more than happy to share. But at this time, my work-life balance, although it's on par, what I would like to do is to kick it up even further. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was continuing along the same path I was going. And there's the same work-life balance for me is not the same work-life balance for you. Anyway, so I know myself, and I know what works for me. And I think I've gotten to that stage now in my recovery where in my heart of hearts, I believe that one of the most challenging parts about being an adult is knowing when enough's enough and when to go and tap that buzzer to throw on the red tape, hit the red button, and to be able to go and step away and to take that moment, take that 2 moments, take a month, take 3 months to be able to cool off and recenter, to focus on that inner candle flame so that no matter what else flickers, that inner candle flame won't flicker. So while the rest of the world around you might be in a turmoil, at least you yourself, at least I'm centering myself. And a healthy work-life balance is important to that. And again, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have that opportunity to step away from certain responsibilities while taking on different roles and challenging myself in a different capacity. Okay, so I've got my notepads here. So we've talked about the show update briefly. We've talked about the personal update. And the last thing, and this is almost the biggest content, is the future updates. Well, I guess it's more of a planned update where one thing I wanted to work on was being able to produce more consistent content. And in January, I went live every day. But the workflow I was using was I was literally taking out my phone, recording a 1-minute video. No, what I would do first is I would record just like this. I would do a quick 10-minute video, and the 10-minute video would be the live stream every week. And then after that 10-minute video, I would whip out my phone and then record a 1-minute version of what I just said in that 10-minute video. So there would be a local recording on my PC that would be streamed live, and then I would have a 1-minute version for my phone. And that 1-minute version, I would scrape the audio from that 1 minute, clean up the audio, do the editing and like boosting the voice and all the fancy stuff you do with audio. But I would also have an audio recording, which I could then upload as a podcast. And then iTunes and Google make it easy to be able to redirect those, and then it distributes from there. But then that 1-minute video I would take and repost that on Instagram has a 1 minute, Twitter has like a 45-second, and then Facebook stories and YouTube stories are different. And so I'd end up repurposing that same video in more than one way, but I couldn't make a 45-second video and upload that to Twitter in a certain ratio and then do the same thing for YouTube and Instagram with the different aspect ratios. Like it's a 1-minute video, but it ended up taking like 30 minutes. Meanwhile, the 10-minute video that I would do on my computer was just a one-time go. And the 1-minute video for my phone ended up taking 30. So then pretty soon I'm layering in these extra complexities, and it wasn't anything I really could see as a long-term benefit, especially if it's taking up so much time. And it's the same message, really, if you think about it. So one thing I wanted to do was to optimize that. And in order to do that, I ended up going in and coming up with this way to take a blog post, because essentially these 10-minute videos were just recreations of a blog post, the highlights of a blog post. And I've worked the streamline. I've optimized my workflow, so I've streamlined it in such a way that I can take a blog post and it automatically creates a video, and then I can take that video and then repurpose that. I can create an aspect ratio for Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or whatever, but it doesn't take that much work to be able to go and do. So then, going forward, what I can do is I can just write the article, write the blog post. As soon as that's published, I feel like I'm making hand puppets here. So as soon as I make the blog post, that will auto create the videos that I can then distribute amongst the socials. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And so that won't require extra time on my part to be able to modify that aspect ratio. I can shorten or lengthen the videos, but the timing part is huge. So I still want, that'll be the pre-recorded videos coming from the blog posts. So the blog post will be derived from, like the words on the screen, images in the background. And then those images will be on the beach or something. I've tested a handful of videos out already. If you want to check out those other videos I have, those are pre-recorded. And I've also been able to set it up so that even right now I'm streaming, but what I'm doing is I'm using a program called Restream, where I'm able to send one signal from my computer, and then that signal gets dispersed amongst Facebook, YouTube, or anywhere else. So I don't have to send multiple different streams to multiple locations. I can just send one stream to one location, and then that'll take care of it from there. But there's another area where I can preload a pre-recorded video, and they're not like long videos. They might be like 1 minute, 3 minutes long. But then those are summaries of the blog posts. So the blog posts themselves, I've got I've got archives of blog posts, so I'm not going to run out of content there. So I can afford, time-wise, to be able to have more frequent pre-recorded videos because I've got that archive data or that archive blog post. The live shows I'll be able to record just like I am right now, send that out once a week, and then that'll be distributed to Facebook and YouTube and anywhere else. I think there's another one, Mixer, and I think there's one more, Twitch. Yeah. I don't have to send them all to the same locations all the time. I can edit and turn them off and turn them on when needed. Okay, so we're still going to have the lives just like this. And we're still going to have the pre-recorded videos, which are essentially summaries of a blog post. So in reality, my workflow is write a blog post and at least have a blog post every week. And then that blog post will convert to pre-recorded videos that I can then distribute amongst the socials. I don't have to worry about, I don't want to say writing it, but I do want to say the live stream content. What I wanted to do was, while I still have the pre-recorded videos coming out, let's say I do 2 or 3 a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would then have a live show that week going over those videos that I showed earlier. So it'll be almost a summary of the week. So the live shows are still there, and the pre-recorded videos are sprinkling in between. The pre-recorded videos are not replacing the live videos, and the live videos are just accenting those pre-recorded videos. And the pre-recorded videos, again, we're talking like 1 to 3 minutes, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the blog post. Some of the blog posts are really long, but some of them are pretty short though too. In the beginning, I wrote really long blog posts, but now I've shortened them to being very on point. So the short form blog post will convert to short videos. Long form blog posts will convert to more 3 to 5 minute videos. And then the live videos will be there once a week. But I still wanted to have a place for the phone. Like I still wanted to be able to go and have because what I'm not able to do, I'm not able to automate the Instagram lives. Those are not, there's no RTMP server. I can't get an access key and send this stream out to that. So I have to legitimately whip out my phone and then do the Insta stories. So then I thought it'd be really neat if I introduced like a morning meditation. So in the morning, I could do an Insta story for those that are interested. And then I can reference the blog post or the main show during the Insta story. So the Insta stories, I think I'm going to have more frequent in the mornings. And that's just off the cuff what we're talking about that morning. Whereas the blog posts are more curated, and then those will trickle into the pre-recorded videos. Again, they'll be distributed amongst the Facebook and YouTube, but then the main shows are going to be this live show like we're talking now. So it's a huge change from what I was doing before. What I was doing before, I was like writing the blog post, recording the 1-minute video, which is a slimmed down version of the 10-minute video, and I would try to release them all at the same time. Like I would try and time the releases, and it never worked out. It became so much of a burden that it wasn't sustainable. Like I did it for 30 days, and by the end of the 30 days, I was like running on empty, and my work-life balance wasn't on point. Now here I am, fast forward a few months, and I'm at a comfortable spot where I'm able to move forward and then get this out there to show you, to say hi, to let you know what I've been working on. And I also wanted to have a website update because the website needs updating. I'm just using one of the templates. I think the template I'm using is 2017, so it's kind of an old template. But what I want to do, revamp the website, and I'm not like rebuilding it from scratch or anything. I'm just talking about using a different template. So with the updated template, I'm also going to be using, I wanted to actually test something else out because what I'm doing currently is just sending the content out there. But what I want to do is to be able to have a way to have a two-way conversation, to be able to have more connection between the people that are watching and the people that are enjoying it, because I still get messages regularly from the content I had made. So I think the last video I made was back in January. Well, I've been making content slowly since then, but for the show season 1 and season 2, I still get messages from people that are watching it. And it's heartfelt messages, and it's amazing. So then I was like, well, how do I make content in a way that it's engaging and allows that communication to flow freely? And so I've been looking at ways of either I was talking with Rusty about this, and Rusty suggested either using a Discord server or even Slack, but I think those are more enterprise and more gamer centric. I was thinking about using communication in another way, but I need to develop it a little bit more further. Again, I don't want to add more complexity to this, but I do want to find a way to have a hub where we can share ideas, or we can engage and find out what others are chatting about. Because there is conversation to be had, and some people that reach out to me, they'll have a heartfelt story about the message, and I think that's pretty awesome, but I'm the only one that's reading it. Anyway, so that was my update. That was the state of where the show was at, where I'm at, where I'm hoping to take things. And I just realized I have not looked at any of the comments, so I apologize. But how is everybody else doing? How is things going on? My audio, my front camera's fine, Megan is saying. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Megan, for letting me know. Thanks for keeping me updated on that. And oh man, there's a whole bunch of people that have come by and watched. That's huge. All right. So I've got some things to work about with my audio sync. Again, I had an issue earlier on with my system. I updated Windows, and Windows deleted my preset that I had everything set up. So I kind of built this from scratch in less than an hour. In the meantime, I will have this worked out a little bit better for the next time. But thanks again for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have ideas on future things I could work on, again, I'm open to that conversation. But in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in another video. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.